A special night activity is taking place?
No, I don't know.
Not
we
yet.
might.
You might.
We might.
So
I know
it's-
that we're planning a Taste of Jamaica evening.
Okay.
In Ocharias, right? The
So that's
first
an
evening.
outside activity from the hotel.
Yes, and we're also going to have for those persons staying on property, we're going to have a cocktail at the meet and greet and networking session.
Is this a very expensive
evening.
conference necessarily?
No, this is a very I'd say it's a budget conference, to be quite honest, for the amount of things that we're putting on, the quality. Remember, you get certification, for those professionals who's attending, we're offering certification.
Okay.
Right?
Because it's like a training
CPDs.
conference.
Yes, it is. We're offering CPDs because we want our farmers to have that piece of paper that says, I have been and I know, right? We want those farmers to have that. We also want for the professional persons, to be able to say, well, they've been to this conference and they've got a CPD of 10. Some persons have to, in order to keep their certification, they have to attend technical conferences such as ours. And we're bringing that right here in Jamaica. So for just $200 a day, right, persons can access this conference, and for just $130 online, because it is a hybrid event, right? They can access this conference. So no, I don't think it's expensive. What we are asking though for is for persons, if they can't attend the conference, is to sponsor at least a farmer, right? Or a youth, from their parish, because all of us come out of Jamaica, whether we're in the diaspora or otherwise, right?
Also, but all these hotels and major restaurants should be able to send their food and beverage manager or their operations manager or their chef to participate in a conference like this.
Yes. And remember, that a lot of the hotels are using local farmers, right? They're serving Jamaican cuisines, right? And I think it would be foolhardy of them not to consider the conference as a great learning experience for these farmers,
Yes.
to actually get them to start doing the right thing, to think about the chemicals that they're overdosing, to think about, even the soil that they're toiling and what they're putting in it, to think about the hazards that climate change has brought on, because it is different now, right? We have much drier climate change. Last month in July was some of the hottest season we've ever had, the hottest time.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Right? And you can imagine the stress level of the farmers, much less the cattle, much less the plants, right? And it's knowing how to manage, not just to secure the health of the plant or the health of the cattle, but your own health, because the heat will have effect on you. You have to know how to manage that, right? So at conference, we have these speakers, who will be talking about the nutritional aspects of it.
So it is a training conference for people who are involved in various levels of the industry.
That's right.
The food service and otherwise, and preparation and growing industry.
Yes.
And in a way, because these speakers are almost lecturers.
They are.
Then definitely you will be certified for participating in this conference.
A lot of them are researchers.
Tell us when this conferences again and where it's taking place.
Right. So it's going to be on Wednesday the 9th of September and Thursday the 10th of September, right? This year, 2026. And also it is going to be at Sandoz Resort and Spa, Duns River, Mammy Bay, Duns River. The conference center is situated on property, Ocharias.
And people will be able to even access it by pay-per-view when the time comes. That will be announced.
That's right. That's correct. Yes.
All right. So listen, you can't miss it. This is a conference to give you certification for those of you who are in any level of the food industry at any time at all, whether you're a hotelier or you're working in the hotel, you're a chef, you're a cook, you're a person who runs a small food business, small restaurant, or you are a quality person in a major establishment or food processing company. Wherever you are, this is the place for you to be and to get additional international certification.
That's right.
Mama, thank you so much for talking to us today.
You're welcome. Hi, I'm Dr. Marva Hewitt, Managing Director and CEO for the Food Hygiene Bureau Jamaica. The Food Hygiene Bureau will host our 10th International Food Security and Food Sovereignty Conference for Jamaica. This is a 2-day event, and over the 2 days we have over 20 food safety experts traveling from different countries such as the USA, Philippines, India, and Asia, and the Caribbean, and of course our Jamaicans. The theme of the conference is Building Resilience in Food Systems, Enhancing Food Security and Sovereignty. Venue is Sandoz Duns River at the conference center, and this is in Miami Bay, Ochirayas. We start at 8:30 until 4:30 both days. This is on the 9th and the 10th of September 2026. See you there.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. And welcome once again welcome back to Tenny Miller Live, coming to you from our studios here. I hope you enjoy that interview a while ago. I was in the process of having a discussion with Miss Marva Hewitt. Marva Hewitt is the Jamaican food hygienist who is in the process of trying to get some put on a special conference come September about food hygiene, the whole business of how we treat with food, how we deal with food security, and the preservation of food, looking at healthy food and the type of food, and healthy lifestyle, and a combination of things of that sort and that nature, trying to get Jamaicans, especially Gen Z, to be careful of too much fast food and sodas and these new type of stuff which are on the shelves, and it's only exacerbating the medical situation in the country. Right now, the hospitals are overcrowded with people who have all sorts of different types of diseases and conditions. Most of them is not like the traditional stuff before. Young people are having some serious issues now with their various organs because of the fact that they're just so highly involved with the various types of chemicals which are into some of these fast foods, and it's just simply just creating havoc. Both at the hospital, most of the hospital wards and rooms are occupied with a lot of young people, children and young people, and it's because of the kind of food that we're eating. No longer, people want to eat good quality food, planted and grown out in the farm, out in the fields. Everybody wants processed things and things that are fast. And because it might look glamorous and good, but at the same time, it's so dangerous. And, bringing about all kind of diseases and disruptiveness in the health system. And it's costing a lot of money because it's cost so much to take care of a patient in the hospital these days. It's far much more than it used to be because of the various complications and conditions that are there and the things that you have to do in order to be able to find out what is wrong with some of these young people. Because it's no longer a cut and clear situation. Oh, this one have diabetes, this one have a cut or a bruise or something. Some healthy young people, and then they're crying out for all kind of intestinal distress and condition because of the kind of food that they're eating and the way they're exposing and overexposing themselves to various healthy lifestyle, unhealthy lifestyle issues. So, we're asking people to be careful and to take care of how they eat and take care of themselves some more. It's very important. And this week, apart from Marva, which you see the Marva is coming on, conference is on the 10th. I think the 9th and the 10th. We're looking at some of the issues in Jamaica. Right now, there are some things that take place at the Cooper's Pen. I don't know if we find that tape for the Cooper's Pen. If we find the Cooper's Pen tape, we'll be able to show it to you. But Cooper's Pen in Trelawney, that section near to where that hotel that they used to call Trelawney Beach Hotel is, which is now part of the Royalton suite of tapestry of hotels. Apparently, the property belongs to Big Bucks, and the property apparently was the people who have been squatting on the property for some time now were given notices several times before. Some have moved off. A number of them have still remained there. And I understand that even some persons were given money, support, to find alternative place to live. However, what has been taking place, what took place there 2-3 days ago, is really a travesty of justice. Let me play this tape for you. Listen to this.
There's shock and anger among many Jamaicans this evening after more than 20 homes were demolished in Cooper's Pen Trelawney on Tuesday morning. Residents say they were given no proper warning and watched in horror as bulldozers reduced their homes to rubble. Now questions are being raised about who ordered the demolitions and what, if anything, will be done for the displaced families. Sandy Williams explains.
For some residents of Cooper's Pen in Trelawney, Tuesday morning started like any other, until the bulldozers arrived. Then, with little warning, homes were turned into piles of concrete, wood, and personal belongings. More than 20 structures were demolished.
I just came here about half an hour ago, and we did hear say some whatever, anything, whatever them plan was. We didn't even care about them plan. So I'm saying, if we come here and we just come and see them demolish the house, how come them just do it without a consent of giving people, say, yo, watch ya. You know, say, you know, if we get a notice for 1 month or 2 weeks, as squatters, you know, live on the land or whatever, whatever news them are run with, say we are what? They should notify us.
Rojake says his 3-bedroom house was home to his family and represented an investment of about $1.5 million. Now, he has no home, no bed to sleep in, and no idea where his family will spend the night. And he takes particular issue with being labeled a squatter.
As a citizen, I'm a national, I'm a native. Me no run away for nowhere come here. A Jamaica me born and grow. Me are no squatters, me can't be squatters in a Jamaica. No boy can't tell me say me are squatters in my country. Me born and grow here.
For another resident, the demolition was just as traumatic and made worse by what happened to her belongings. She says police officers came first, asked how many people were in the house, then left. Soon after, she heard the bulldozers.
One man says, them can't tell the tractor off he doing work. You understand? And all the things them including all the baby crib and something I draw with. This a different yard, you know. That time they already break on me out. So that is what really, really, really grieves me, is the fact that my things them break up after they mash up the house.
My house not get put long, but them put one peg and any part the peg they reach and other put feet. And the peg they near to my house. Right in front of my house. One peg there.
The demolitions have also put the spotlight on the long-running dispute over the land. Trelawney Northern Member of Parliament Tova Hamilton says she's trying to determine who initiated the action. She stresses that the matter was not government-led.
All I can say is it's devastating. I must, however, indicate that this is private sector led. I know that there is a lot of misinformation out there indicating that the government has something to do with it. But we have nothing at all to do with what happened there today. It was private sector led, and we're trying to get to the bottom of it to see who initiated this. Because I have already reached out to the Prime Minister to see how best we can have the government try to resolve the issue on behalf of the people.
Ms. Hamilton says the land dispute has been going on for years and that the matter had reached the courts. She also says an interest was lodged on the title in favor of the housing minister, as the government had intended to assist the residents. In the meantime, she is encouraging the affected families to seek temporary shelter with relatives and friends. Sandy Williams, TVJ News.
Oh, so you see the situation. That was the Member of Parliament there, Ms. Tovia Hamilton, who intervened, who led a team of people down there to intervene to see how she might be able to provide some kind of a comfort and support for the people. She also said clearly, but then it's a matter for us to find out some things later, because it was said by the opposition candidate for the area, Mr. Meadows, and it was reported in the media elsewhere that he said it was a government-led because there were police and members of various government organizations who participated in the bulldozing and the removing of the people. And therefore, then if that is so, then you cannot have government organizing with big business and big property business and money people to against their own citizen, basically. So, but then that is left to be proven. That's what Mr. Meadows is implying. However, the Member of Parliament, Tovia, is saying that it is not so. It has nothing to do with government, to the point whereby she has reached out to the Prime Minister to try to get some support. That we are to hear more about that later today, just after this program, so we can bring it for you for our next program. But it is her word against his and his word against hers. And they are two politicians, and they're both trying to defend their turf and trying to, show up the other one. So the one is either a liar or one is mischievous, as the case might be. Whichever way it is, the people are the ones in the middle who are suffering. When the grass grows, when the bulls fight, the grass trample. So what has to happen is that we have to get some more information coming out of the situation from the various persons who was involved with it being bulldozed, who have reached out to them, what kind of assistance are they getting, whether from government or private sector, who are the person private offering the help, and where it will go from there. Will they have to know eventually move from the land? The people who own the property might say, well, we can always resolve the issue afterwards, but I want them out for the property because they wanted to do development. If you see, it's a catch-22. People have a tendency to figure that they must just squat anywhere, and then whatever the circumstances, and it work itself out. Or the government must now come in and provide them with the opportunity to stay on the land. I beg your pardon. When it might be private sector land. If it's government land owned in some places, bad or not too bad, but when you talk about private sector property, these are people who really spend the money for the property, and they want the property for their own personal development and to do their business. So it's not fair for them to move on to them land, start to put up concrete structure and all sorts of things, and then they must now just wait or give up the property to you and the government. That cannot be right. And whether you are a businessman or you're a hotel owner and you have a property, if you're also a private person and you have your piece of land somewhere, you have some people find a way to go inside there. And as I talk about adverse possession, and they come up with some lies as it relates to how long they have had this property and they have been there and the kind of rights, and begin to declare the kind of rights that they have to the property. Now, at the same time, if this property was already earmarked for development, which I understand it was, and the people have been informed several times around that, please, this is not to happen, we don't want you there, you need to leave, and the Member of Parliament run an election on the basis of providing housing opportunities and solutions to the people, that should be one of the areas that you take on as a first choice. Say, listen, no, I need the business people in the community because they're providing jobs and providing opportunities for business to develop in the parish and in the constituency. So we need them. But equally too, these people here who are the squatters or people who have moved onto these lands, we have to find another solution for them. And that should have been part of her first order of business. Getting those people out. She should have started to find a way. No, it reached a point now whereby these people have been bulldozed. I'm not saying that these people are right to bulldoze these people, because they are people, they are human beings, and they have human rights. Plus, there has to be some kind of a way that you go about matters of this nature in a very organized and decent way. You can't just, use the police to come inside there and they're going to detain some of the men who you claim is the alleged bad man who's going to create a problem before the bulldozer come. So you grab those guys and then you detain them so that they are not the ones to be able to start any kind of a thing. So make them feel like you're detaining them for some legitimate reason. And while they're being detained now, then you're bringing the bulldozer and another set of policemen and other persons to come and tear down the people's house. And the other defenseless and women and children that are there don't have nothing more than to just run out with just two pieces of things in their hand. You have to treat people with a greater sense of respect than that. Whether they're squatters, yes or no. People have challenges both in terms of employment and both in terms of finding a place to live. The 1 and 2 who might just want to live anywhere is a minor. There are few in comparison to the rest. We have to do better than that. The country have to do better than that. We have to treat our citizens in a much more decent and respectful way. The government can't just allow people to, whether you're a big business or otherwise, treat the rest of the citizens like that. So what is going to happen after that time? This country is going to be run and controlled and, by big people who just do anything they want to people and get away with it. Because the official people who you're supposed to have as defenders are not defending you. We need to find another way to deal with this. And I'm hoping that, when you get a chance to talk to the Member of Parliament, she can have some concrete answers as to why she hadn't acted upon this before, seeing that she would have been aware that the people would have gotten notices and they should have left long ago. 2, why the people them never leave, why they never try to find other relatives and friends like they are doing now to go and stay with or to go and live with, rather than wait until now when the situation is in this, it has now come to this kind of confrontation and dilemma. So there are a lot of questions all around to answer. And it's not about who's right or who's wrong or who for property or who it don't belong to. Just good sense has got to prevail. Order and decency must prevail. And if the Member of Parliament had intervened on the behalf of the people early, prior to now, and I don't know whether or not she was not informed or she don't know that well, there are notices out for eviction. Then after the election or as soon as you get an opportunity, you intervene on the people's behalf because these are the people who voted for you. And say, listen now, big business, if you have plans for development in July or August, can you delay it for another month or 2? Because the people who are there, we are working assiduously to try to find alternative place for them. Some of them have relatives, some of them can find things here or there, but there's a great majority of them who can't find anything. So we're going to try and find some solutions for them. So give us another 2 or 3 months. I'm not saying to go tell them, so you want 6 months or a year. Because they have their own developmental plans and them have them expenses and them challenges as business people. So they also have to project things when they can do it and when they can't do it. And what is going to cost to get all of this done. So, there are a whole lot of questions and answers. But certainly, the Member of Parliament has got to take some responsibility for this, because she would have known that the property is earmarked for development, and therefore the people who are squatting on the property find a place to put them or help them as best as it's possible to find an alternative place. You can't wait until now when it all reaches crisis. Then we're going to hear that, you're going to be asking the Prime Minister, or we're going to ask food for the poor. It just absolutely thing. No, they don't have any food, I hear, or anything, so they're getting supplies. Fine. And let us take a look at this video.
What should I pick up them? I took them out there. Active. Then the unloading. Yeah, man. Keep them up over there, sir. That's a one name. Everything. And then when they're done up there, sir, on the deal with the BL, so them big everything over there at the front, we're not going to move them, yeah.
See this?
Easy ever come off, yeah.
If this is providing help for the people who are bulldozed, okay, fine. But are you giving them supplies to reposition themselves on the same property, which belong to the investors and the people who want the property, who initiated the bulldozing in the first instance? I don't know if this is what this makes sense, or this is wise. How are we going to, I guess we need to get some answers to some of this. Because you can have a situation whereby a lot of these people are now homeless, and they're the people whose land they were and want the land, and that's part of what aggravated the situation for them to take action, albeit not necessarily illegal action, but disrespectful, and they go about it almost inappropriately. So these are things to be sorted out, and where apology and restoration and compensation is due, I guess we're going to have to find a way to do that. But you can now carry door or partitioning board and other materials to give to the same people in the same area, on the same land. That is now causing the controversy. It don't make sense. It don't make sense. And we're going to go to if we can find a member of parliament and whoever we can find to give us some answers to this, to say, can you provide us with some further information as to what the hell is going on inside here? Because it just cannot be. It cannot continue to be. So as soon as we can find a way to get some answers, then we can come back to you with it. But the people's, as you can see, the area of some people have some stuff covered with tents, but then the tents are going to be there temporarily. Some people's basic infrastructure is there. Some of it can be salvaged, some of it can't be salvaged. The argument is now, where are we going to put these people? They're going to find another piece of property somewhere where you have you can give some of them some of the trailer houses which the government have, some about the place. How is it going to be treated with? And is it a situation whereby them just going to move from one squat land to another squat land, and then you temporarily rest them here, so well, so go there, so make you some tent and we give you some something, and then after that the situation just remains the same. So what? The more things change, the more it remains the same. So if the people want the property, granted now they have taken very strong action in trying to move the people. That matter is now being sorted out between them and the police and the government, and whatever kind of restitution and apology and whatever is needed to be done and to come forth. Let us see that come forth. But in the meantime, where are the people going to go? And how many persons involved? They say it's in the region of nearly 60 to 100 families? I don't know. We just have to check and to see what's going on out there. I understand that opposition leader Mark Golding and some members of his shadow cabinet were to have gone out there this morning. We are to hear exactly what took place out there. We are to hear we just have to hear what's going on out there. Because Mr. Buchanan, one of the spokespersons for either housing or one of the labor, one of the related ministries, was quoted on was on TV last night. Was quoted on TV, saying some things which a lot of people consider inappropriate, in the sense that he was almost inciting the people to take illegal action in terms of what's happening with the housing unit, and trying to let the people know that they ought not to either leave or they were supposed to, hold the government to ransom. But however, whatever the nature of Mr. Buchanan's comments, it leaves much to be desired. And as a member of parliament, as a legislator, who is responsible for helping to provide for the nation, to help with solutions for some of these challenges, you can't be putting salt into wound, can you? Mr. Buchanan have to be more responsible than that. Mr. Buchanan, I think it might be in the news somewhere. I don't know if we can find the quotation from Mr. Buchanan. If we can find it, we can bring the clip to you. But how can you, as a member of parliament, be on national television? Isaac Buchanan. How can you, as a member of parliament, on national television, know the cameras on you, and you're telling the people the things that you were saying last night? You put your foot in your mouth, them kind of a way there. They must scam the government, and they must this, and they must that, and they must that. That's not how we talk to people. It's help out people and try to resolve situations. I'm not saying that if the government is responsible, then you get the details of the information and then make a statement appropriately. But you can't, as a legislator, going to speak to the people in a particular manner that is going to incite them to do things which are illegal and unlawful. You can't be caught saying and doing those things. That can't be right. Mr. Buchanan, that cannot be right. And I don't know how serious is the nature of it. And engineer, you think we can find a clip from Mr. Buchanan? We're going to see if we can find a clip from Mr. Buchanan. We can play it for you so you can hear exactly what he said.
Something magical for all of them. Because you see the Prime Minister, him have to lift up off of some house. And him have to give you. And when him put him plaque on the house, then when him have to give you back. Rip it off when you're done. Because if them not give you back house, Tova can't win down there. Right now, anywhere should there be a twep. Prime Minister have to go keep cabinet meeting and know say she have to give you back in the house. And we now ease up off of them neck. Because government are creatures of the Constitution. And the human rights run this. The humans run this. Wanna bet me if you think I lie, me I tell. So all someone we never up there. Take all 1 foot on the bed, broke it off and carry it up there and say, see where left ya? Yeah. Choppy line pan them, cause anybody we in a that the place there where them bulldoze, you have to get back a house out of government. And it now gonna be no trailer. Bet say you get land. I bet on that.
So Isaac Buchanan is trying to tell the people themselves upon them side. And that the government have to give them land. And when them give them some of the houses, then we broke out, I go get them, which they label social housing and you know, everybody look mileage, then they must rip it off for the top. All right, you know, that's neither here nor there. The part that I am concerned about, as a member of parliament, as a legislator, you can't tell the people them say, find under your bed where you have and broke off the foot and carry go up, they go show them, say, listen now, me get mash up too. And him talking about people who were never there. So we're not talking about people who were there. We're looking at now people who were never there. What he's saying is that they must take off a piece of broken bed, a piece of old furniture, whatever it is you can find, and join the line up there or get inside of the crowd up there and start to make noise and complain. And say, me lose my bed and me this and that. And make them sure so that you get back compensation for it. I don't know. I don't know if you think of something a legislator is supposed to say at this time to try to incite some kind of a situation or induce it with this kind of a, you know, implication of what he is saying. He is trying to tell the people and forget it to some kind of a dishonest activity to pressure the government into providing a house for them. Eh? The government must now provide a house, must accommodation for them, and maybe provide them with furniture and provide them with money to replace the losses that they have. And that's what Isaac is saying. I'm not saying to the people, as a legislator and as a member of parliament, listen, come up with a proper list of your things and that you have lost and that sort of thing and so on. No, this can't be. We're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, the discussion continues. This is Tenny Miller Live, and we're on Flex TV. Welcome back. Before we went to the break, we were looking at what happened in Cooper's Pen in Trelawney and the nature of what is going on out there and the challenge that is, you see, at the end of the day, is the people who are suffering. Granted, the people also have a responsibility to themselves and their family. If they know they're on the wrong side of the law, then try and get yourself on the right side. And you have a member of parliament, and the member of parliament must try and find a way to assist them. We can now talk after the fact and make it look like, say, you know, it is big disaster. It is unfortunate that it happens. And it's unfortunate that if it is so, that government is on the side of big business to destroy poor people and little people. But at the same time, it can be business as usual. There's a way to do things, and things must be done in a particular order. Right now, the country is behaving in a way as if to say we are governed by an institutionalized disorder, and it can be. So there must be order right round. And the member of parliament have a responsibility to the people. This is something that should have been working a long time. There's a lot of house where them get from all over the world. The trailer house and all sort of house that them get from everybody else who give out house. Food for the poor also have some houses that they give out. Why that relocation process never did start long time? And I know everybody over there, so you give house, you make them know, so do not build. Do not do anything here, because this land has got to be given up back to the owner. So you're going to move out in a short time. We can help you to find a physical place. If we can help you to find some small housing solution, find a place where then we'll be able to get a chance to say, well, this is going to be a subdivision, and we might divide it up. After time, you can get it to purchase. I don't know. Something has got to change differently. But we wait to hear what the member of parliament have to say in terms of the replacement and the repositioning of these people. But it can be on the same land with tents and other things, then, you know, it just exacerbate the problem. Now, while there is a drought of houses, and that's what caused that crisis in Cooper's Pen, there's also another serious physical drought, is a drought of water. It's a long time. I have seen rain ago before I see, well, not when I put it this way. 3 days ago, was it? Sometime over the weekend was the first time we see some water in a long time. Fine. But the nation, across the board, we're having a serious drought across the country. Some of the rivers are just almost drying up, or half dried, or having issues with, you know, the current of water that seems to be traveling in it. And the government has been putting out a lot of announcements as it relates to how people should be able to try and treat with it, how to manage the water supply at home, how to, you know, not to use unnecessary water, how not to wash your car as often as you used to, you know, and to make sure that water is only used for essential purposes. Whether you're going to bathe, and if you're not to bathe today, because you bathed yesterday evening, you can make it stay until tomorrow, because you don't necessarily smell. And in a crisis time, tough times call for tough measures. So you just have to, you know, focus and what I'm saying, tough it out. But we have to do something about that. But it is a very serious thing. And then other members of the society are now complaining and asking questions and making it look as if to say, well, you know, these things are not always just government problems. These things cannot, and should not always be managed and handled by government. The rest of us, civil society and private sector, also have a responsibility. We are living here, we are in the country. We have to find a way to make our contribution in more ways than what. But listen to the nature of what happens with the water and what's going on out there. around this country.
Car wash operators are buckling under pressure of the ongoing drought and water restrictions. Their reactions come 24 hours after the government announced tighter water restrictions for non-essential tasks. Some business operators say they already had to reduce services due to the water challenges, and their operations for the rest of the summer remain uncertain.
It's Tuesday afternoon at the Ultimate Car Spa in New Kingston. On any other midsummer day, business would be booming. But now...
Well, the drought has affected us in a great way because now we have to conserve on water supply and also to having enough water to supply both the car wash and the restaurant. It affects us by decreasing in our sales per day. We normally have like 28 to 30 cars washing per day. Now we're down to 10 cars per day.
Administrative Assistant Sophia Lloyd says this has been their reality since early July. There's also a restaurant and other small businesses on the complex, so the challenges are far-reaching. And with the new restrictions announced by the government on Monday, business is looking bleak for the rest of the summer. As of Monday, August 17, it will be illegal for people to use water supplied by the NWC for non-essential tasks. This includes using water to wash cars using a hose.
We have 4 tanks on location. Of course, we get the water from the NWC. If we're out of water, we have to then thinking about purchasing the water. And that cuts into our sales as well. So it does pose a great impact on us.
Andre Buckle is a manager at this car wash in St. Andrew. He told us tanks have also been a necessity during the drought period, and they've had to purchase water from trucks to supplement their supply. But even then, the extent of the drought has had some impact on business.
Well, yesterday business was a bit slow yesterday. Today we started out slow, but as the day progressed, cars coming in. But, most persons, they are washing their car less now because of the restriction. They are, more like doing more vacuum inside, but not the exterior.
And as the restrictions persist, concerns about the impact on sales. Despite that, the business operators are hopeful.
We just have to work with the government instructions. And I hope some rain fall, so we can go back to regular, business.
We have not had drought this bad before. So we are hoping and looking forward to seeing that we get some rain as, soon. If not so bids and the drought continues, then, we have to have an action plan in purchasing water, and then we don't know how long the water will last in Jamaica for us to keep up.
Now, if individuals breach the latest water restriction prohibition order, they will be guilty of an offense and could face a fine. If they are unable to pay the fine, they could face imprisonment for a term not exceeding 30 days. Kalisha Williams, TVJ News.
So you hear from TVJ. We must give them credit for that piece of news. But what is happening, and this is not just in some areas, but it's across the island. There is a drought, and there are people who are now, having to really deal with some serious water restrictions, and the Water Commission is cutting off or reducing supplies to some areas, and they're letting people know that, listen, make sure that you catch up some water, because water is going to be out of service for 3 or 4 hours, so that they, manage the reservoir, manage the supply that they have seriously. So all of us who have got to get more responsible in terms of how we use water. Water is life. So, if you're not forbid 4 times a week, don't bathe 4 or 6 times a week. If you're not forbid, 2 times a day. Some people figure say they must bathe 2 times a day. And if somebody said them, I come visit them, go bathe again. So it's a little bit much. Look at that pipe, for example. As you see it, no water is not there. Water everywhere, but none to drink. We don't have it everywhere. So people cannot afford to leave the tap on and make sure there's a busted pipe or a pipe that has a problem with its top. The faucet needs to be fixed, and some people don't fix it, and it remains there, and the water is just seeping out or leaking out. Them going to lock you up, a policeman come, and the water commission come within your precincts, and within the closest to where your house is, either come to your yard to visit to check your meter, and there's a busted pipe, and water is leaking. They want to know how long that has been happening, because it don't happen since morning, while you're at the trench, and it's happening for more than a day. Apart from the fact that they're going to bill you an exorbitant bill, you're likely to get into problem with the authorities, because you're talking about wasting the precious commodity which is in short supply. So we're just asking everybody and all those persons who are not so good at conserving to start to do that now, because it's a serious time. Because I'm not just hearing about there's time when it's going to come a time when water is short across the world. And there are people like Elon Musk and other persons who are now investing into water. Water is going to become a serious commodity for trade later on. So we have to find a way to protect what we have, treat it with respect, and manage it wisely, because it is going to come back at us like a phantom. So those persons with the car who have to wash the car at morning, lunchtime, and evening, and just leave the hose on while the car is being, soaped and cleaned out and stuff like that cannot be done anymore. Police come and them see you do that, you're likely to get a ticket or something for that. Because it's a destruction to the resources. We can't just do that. Water is life. Water is a precious commodity. So we have to make sure that we find a way to preserve it and to treat it much better than we are now. If you're joining us, my name is Tenny Miller, and you're coming to you live from the studios of Flex TV. And we're just looking at some of the issues of the day and what's taking place here in Jamaica and around the world. Now, I know that in Florida, South Florida, the Consul General of Jamaica, whose office is located in downtown Miami, he has been promoted and is now moving into another location, into Florida, into New York. So Consul General Oliver Mayer from South Florida will be moving to New York as the Consul General for New York. So he's being relocated. How is he going to be managing that? We don't know, but he did quite a good tour in South Florida after 7 years. So we want to see what he's going to do in New York. Next week, Monday, I think we should be having a special interview with him about his tour in the South Florida and what are some of the high points and low points for him, and what is going to, how he's going to be approaching his new task, because there's certainly going to be more challenging stuff that he will have to deal with there. And it's a larger population than he has to serve as well in New York. So we'll see what happens out there in New York with him. And let him tell us what he liked and what he never liked about being in South Florida and being with us there. But he is always with his independence clothes on. If you notice, he has been attending a lot of functions since independence, interfacing with a lot of Jamaicans. And since the diaspora conference, he has been doing, his rounds, saying thank you and interfacing with some of the people who have really been doing well with him and by him. I say they're trying to make a presentation to him now. Can we pick up some of that? This is Consul Dennis Grant of Lauderdale. Thank you. All right. The Consul General there, he's a man, him love the microphone. He's a performer. Yeah. So I'm a DJ a song there so right now. Yes, Consul General Oliver Mayer receiving the keys to the city of Lauderhill. Just received it from Mayor Denise Grant and members of the Lauderhill Commission. And they all had a little reception for him out there. And he has been doing the rounds, different cities, giving him keys, and different groupings of persons there bidding farewell to him in one way or the other, you know. The association for the, how do you call it now, the group of, what they call them, wise men, and various, you know, one of the community groups, and the outstanding women and men of Florida, who are, you know, so what is these organizations who come together to try to do various community activities and provide support for the Jamaican community back home. They all have been finding a way to say thank you to Consul General Oliver Mayer and to really pay their respects with various gift items in addition to keys to the city and different type of presentations. I hear he's down to get maybe about 4 keys. He might have to find enough door to open those keys, with those keys to open some more doors. But, you know, I suppose it's on in good faith. It's that expression of their concern and their appreciation and their love for the man. And he has been somebody in the community that a lot of us could call on for one purpose or the other. And he has always tried to make himself available for, I show for me, whenever I need him for an interview on my program, he's always there, he's always available. You know, and if he's not there when you call, once he sees your number or you leave a message, he finds a way to call you and say, and he apologizes, but then he makes himself available at the next available time for a discussion, for to answer questions. And even if the questions are difficult ones, you know, and he don't have the full answer, but he makes an attempt to give you some kind of a reasonable, you know, answer, and tell you that the next time round he'll be able to assist you some more or provide a better answer for you at the next time. So we have to give him credit for that, and we have to give him his due. He's not the perfect person. He and I kick it off a couple of times, but we also have had some good discussions at different times because, you know, I will confront him on issues that I think is of importance to the citizens of South Florida and to the diaspora. And, you know, he has always been very cooperative. And, you know, he's a real Jamaican at heart, and he's a real diaspora man. He really puts himself into the job and tries to be available for what functions and activities and to be host and some of these things. And we want to really give him credit for that and big him up. Consul General Oliver Mayer for South Florida and Southern United States. Now he's going to be going into New York, and we wish him all the best as he goes out to New York and he goes out to another set of Jamaicans in the Big Apple, and to see how well he's going to be able to do there with those persons. A lot of people there are looking forward to him coming there, having heard of the kind of a work that he has been doing in South Florida. A lot of Jamaicans out there are looking forward to him coming to New York. And we see what will happen to him and for him in New York. This is Roy Tenny Miller. This is Tenny Miller Live. We're going to go to a quick break. We'll soon come back. Stick and stay.
One agency, one goal.
Are you living on or in possession of family land? Do you want to sell or subdivide the property? Use eLand Jamaica to search for details on the property. You can complete a title search and verify the owner before you sell the property. If your name does not appear on the title, register the land or clarify the existing title in your name before you sell. A title is a notice to the world of your ownership of land. For more information, contact the National Land Agency at 876-750-5263 or 876-946-5263. The National Land Agency, one goal to serve you better. Are you confident that you are the legal owner of your property? Take action to secure your property ownership. Get a registered certificate of title and become the legal owner of your property. To register your property and obtain a certificate of title, you will need to provide a tax registration number (TRN), a valid government-issued identification, a survey diagram, documentation to prove ownership, up-to-date property tax certificate, the names, addresses, and occupations of 2 neighbors over the age of 50 who are not family members and can give a declaration on your behalf. Proof that you have been in open, undisturbed, and undisputed possession of the property for 12 years or more. For further information on registering your property and obtaining a certificate of title, contact the National Land Agency at 876-750-5263 or 876-946-5263. Email asknla@nla.gov.jm or message us at WhatsApp at 876-418-5089. The National Land Agency, one goal to serve you better.
Hi, I'm Dr. Marva Hewitt, Managing Director and CEO for the Food Hygiene Bureau Jamaica. The Food Hygiene Bureau will host our 10th International Food Security and Food Sovereignty Conference for Jamaica. This is a 2-day event, and over the 2 days we have over 20 food safety experts traveling from different countries such as the USA, Philippines, India, and Asia, and the Caribbean, and of course our Jamaicans. The theme of the conference is Building Resilience in Food Systems, Enhancing Food Security and Sovereignty. Venue is Sandoz Duns River at the Conference Center, and this is in Mami Bay, Ochirias. We start at 8:30 until 4:30 both days. This is on the 9th and the 10th of September 2026. See you there.
Welcome back. That was Miss Marva Hewitt there putting on that food security conference in September. And it's a very important conference. It has to do with, how we deal with the protection and preservation of food, how we deal with the whole business of, producing and preserving food going forward in the future, because if we don't deal with food security, we're going to have a problem. Especially in Jamaica, we're going to have a problem. So it's important in Jamaica that, matters of that nature is looked after. Now, something's been happening in the media. We see some open activities. Last week, one day, we had a situation where a teacher in Westmoreland in Pitkin District in Bluefields, Westmoreland. They found that this gentleman, who is a teacher, was found stabbed and with stab wounds all over his body. The police confirmed this. He has been identified as a 39-year-old Andre James, who was employed at Little London Primary School. And according to preliminary information from the police officers, according to the preliminary information of the police, they responded to a report of a homicide in the community about 4 p.m. The police say, and I'm quoting, that on their arrival, James was found seated on a chair inside a bedroom with multiple stab wounds to his chest. The police said a pair of scissors, which is believed to be the murder weapon, was seized. The police further said James also appeared to have suffered injury to his face and head. Investigators processed the scene on Sunday afternoon as they sought to establish a motive for the killing and the circumstances surrounding James's death. No information has yet been released regarding a suspect, and the investigation is continuing. No, I don't know. What you think? Let me just go back up to this picture again. If we just slide down bring it back down, and we see a picture of the teacher. A primary school teacher. Fine? Young man in 9 prime. It's important that we try and find out what really happened in this case. We have to know, for the benefit of children in the schools, what happened to the teacher. We have to know, for the benefit of the community, why was this person murdered, whether he was broken into, or it came out of some kind of a reprisal for something. Or we have to try and find out if this teacher, as it is rumored, you cannot necessarily carry rumor to court, or go to the law, but it is alleged that the incident stemmed or could have stemmed from some possible action of the teacher coming out of student or students from the school and somebody in the community. And it spill over and them come to him yard and attack him and murder him. Some people say them think a one woman do it because of the scissors that them use. Some people say they think it's a man do it. Them go there, them catch a fight and catch an argument. And what is also not clear is whether or not there was a fight, because that they say he was sitting on a chair, but somebody went there obviously to beat him up. It appears as though somebody went there to beat him up and further stab up the man. I don't know what the reason. We don't know what caused it. But we hope that the police will be able to come up with a clue And based on the kind of clue that they come up with, I'd love to see how the investigation follow the various clues that they have. And when they come up with answers and, leads, they follow where the leads go. They follow the money, they follow the lead. So we can get to the bottom of these kind of a mysterious killings. If it has something to do with the school, whether with another teacher at school, or with children at school, or whether or not it's children's parents in reprisal, go there, don't picnic box them or whatever it is, and parents go there with him and they catch an argument, and the next thing you know, I'm faced with them and things reach a point, or whatever the nature of the circumstance, I don't know. But I'm interested to find out what causes and where it will lead to and how the matter will be dealt with when they finally come to an answer. This is going to be crucial. It's going to be crucial, absolutely. Because we must find an answer. We must find an answer. The police must find an answer. We must not allow incidents of this nature to go unsolved. Because when we kill off all of the young men them in the country, who are the women them are going to manage? But whatever domestic issue it is, whether it was himself and family members, whether him sweetheart or him girlfriend or whatever it is, or somebody killing because of, you know that them say get caught, catch him shot, and people abroad hire people down here to kill other people's family members because them can't catch them abroad, or for some reason or the other, and they use all of these type of things. So, let me hope that they can find him, who the killer is, whether it's a he or a she. And it was clever that somebody was thinking that. And this was another woman, of course. She said she think is a woman kill him because of scissors. And only woman walk with scissors to stab up people. Man I go walk with knife or half a cutlass. We see how that goes. The question is why? Why him at that time? And what could he have done to have deserved this? And let us hope that, the matter can be resolved. And we can get to the bottom of it. We can really find the answer. Because it's sad. Really sad. And the school will be in mourning. It's a good thing it's there on summer break. But when you go back to school now and the matter is going to be rumored around the school about or spread around the school about this teacher who got murdered. But let me hope the matter can be resolved early. Fine. There are some, as I remember the situation that we looked at earlier about the squatter settlements. I also remember there was a call or there was a talk about a day of non-movement. And some people were promoting the whole business of taxi operators. And I know they were trying to get TODS, Transport Organization for Sustainable Development, to be a part of this No Movement Day, which ostensibly would have have some serious economic effects, because there are quite a number of persons who go to work using the buses and some of these acne carriage operations or operators. And when I can understand that people must find a way to get answers to their questions and to get attention to their needs, we have to be mindful of the methodology that we use and how this will affect other persons who don't have nothing to do with what you deal with. We have to, and like I say, you know, it's unfortunate that some things have to reach crisis proportion before some actions are taken. And we hope that good sense can prevail in high quarters. And when there's an issue that seems to be of concern to a section of the population, I would hope that officialdom would take their cue very early and begin to find creative and direct and effective ways to bring some kind of a discussion in play with the intention of resolving these issues. Because it's unfortunate that some poor people would have to go work, and then the taxi man them strike or the bus man them strike and them can't go work. So it's going to affect somebody's day pay. It's going to affect production across the board. So if we can find a more creative way to express our grief and our grievances about whatever the issues of the day are, so that we can come to some kind of resolution, is going to be very important. Very, very important. Because the economy of this country is not rosy, despite we get the impression that things are rosy. It's not very rosy. And I know them putting the new director for NIIR, Major Anderson, who is now somewhere in, I don't know if it's Singapore or where, looking at some best practices so that when he comes back, he's going to be looking at how he will start this mammoth task which he has for the reconstruction and the rebuilding of our infrastructure and other aspects of the economy, bridges and roads. And I know there's a lot of work to be done, and it's a kind of a rebuilding of the nation and the infrastructure in a way like it has never been done before. And it's not something that is going to take 2 days. It's something going to take a number of years. And he has been saddled with the task to be the head honcho, to supervise and manage all of the various levels of development, infrastructural and structural and otherwise, for the benefit of the country. We hope that we will see some kind of a method and, some plans worked out to show whether it's going to be something that everything's going to be done one time, or the kind of a proportional development that will take place, and who heads what, and who manages what, and what are the allotment and allocations that are going to be assigned to those areas of development and reconstruction. And I hope that he gets himself a team of good civil engineers and Carnegie Techs and all these people whose skills we will now need and need to call upon. We hope that Jamaicans at home and abroad, Jamaicans at home and abroad, will get the opportunity to put in their bid for some of these contracts and these reconstruction and repair work to bridges and gullies and, aspects of our topography and landscape, so that we can now put in modern things, modern infrastructure, but also find Jamaicans who have the skill, advertise for them, bring them home, and offer them the opportunity rather than sit down and wait for Mr. Chinaman or America to tell you, say you can't do this, say you can't do that. But if you have to find him, wherever you have to find a man from, especially if he's a Jamaican, make sure, say, you bring them home first choice. And the ones with the skill to be able to help you with this kind of a reconstruction and repairs that will have to take place over the next 7 years or more. There are billions of dollars that are involved. Billions of dollars. But we do not want a situation whereby money are spending in some areas and they get contracts and there's an agreed time when some things should be finished or should be halfway or should be three-quarter way. And if there's a way built in so that you can see what the cost factor is incrementally for these structural and infrastructural development, which will be taking place across the country, so that those of us who are concerned about the development, if not all of us should be, will be able to work with Commissioner Anderson, Director Anderson, former Brigadier, whatever you call him, General Anderson, and provide him with the kind of a support so that those persons who have these contracts will not create an overrun on these contracts like we see happen with the Cornwall Regional Hospital in Jamaica. The Cornwall Regional Hospital in Jamaica is a monumental disgrace. Is a monumental disgrace and is the highest form of mismanagement and corruption that one can ever imagine that take place in this country. A hospital was supposed to cost you $2 billion. $2 billion is now at its highest point at $22 billion. And it's not done yet. The hospital is costing now 20, not 3, not 5, not 7, not 9, not even 11. $22 billion. And don't tell me that some of the money there now end up in some people's pocket, whether they're a politician, yes or no. A whole lot of that the money there. Me know can be accounted for properly. And if you investigate and find out somehow who are the people that are involved and the time when some of them get a work for do and when them get it and what them do, you will find that a whole lot of nepotism and a lot of politically mixed and tainted corruption involved in that. The hospital not done yet. Some people still depend bench out a door. And they have spent $23 billion of poor people's money in Jamaica. I mean, none of the minister have no shame. None of the minister have no shame. That man should have been on the radio and television every week, at least once a week, providing Jamaicans with up-to-the-minute and up-to-date report on what's happening at Cornwall Regional and giving us the assurance of a timetable that is set and will be accomplished. And you know how the people are wicked and stay bad? Every minute, they might open one little part, but they might hear, so they might do little Cornwall Regional opening, and it's just to the purpose of just generalship. You go up in one ward or one room at the hospital, and when you done the shut up back because either that the light now work, or the AC now work, or AC not put in properly or something. It is such a disgrace. Cornwall Regional Hospital is such a disgrace. The minister, I say, should have taken shame and come to the nation, man, every week and give us an up-to-date on what's going on there. And, you know, him look just so cavalier about something of that nature. $23 billion on a chicken feed, you know. Somebody have to pay about that money, you know. I'm sure the minister, not the deputy minister, not the permanent secretary, now none of the director of them are going to miss them dinner, or them sleep, or them lunch money, or them pay. Them people that shouldn't get no salary. All of the people them who depend it from the minister and the technical team of about 7 or 10 of them should not get any pay for at least the next 4 to 6 months. Until when we can get a solid assurance that Cornwall Regional Hospital will be opened and open to the public and will function. And before you pay them, you still wait to another month to make sure that things are functioning right. No, boy, it is disgraceful. It is shameful. Very shameful. And the permanent secretary, they are permanent secretary now because you're responsible for the civil service and the ministry. Because the politician will come and go. But you as permanent secretary, response. And would like to know how they check them draw and who draw them and who give the authorization to say, yes, all right, approve that 5 million or that 55 million. You know, just how it's accounted for, how the money spent, who spend it, when them spend it, where them spend it, why them spend it, with whom them spend it, so that we can just get a little bit of assurance. Because right now we don't have nothing, you know. The hospital is still just there like a white elephant. If 10 sections of that place is functioning too much at work. I don't know if the outpatient department are function, no casualty department. Some of the ward them not ready. I don't know if the operating theater is working and if it is up to date. How many operating theaters out of the amount which were supposed to be established are they functional? I don't know. But it's something that a lot of us need to find out. And one of the problems with this country of late, it's like everybody seems to just give up, then just stand so back. Nobody no have no concern about nothing. Nobody no grieve about nothing. Nobody no open them mouth and a voice them opinion about nothing. How can a monument like Candwell Regional be there, no look after $22 billion and nobody not say nothing about it? $22 billion. Nobody not say nothing about it. Everybody just sit on so and just say, okay. Children yet unborn will be paying back some of that money. When minister, our permanent secretary, our assistant director, our director general left the work and either retire and I get them pension because they want to make sure so they get them pension, And all of who forget pop off a fish head, get for them fish head. People of Montego Bay, children of Western Jamaica, they are the ones who are still now suffering, dying, grieving, having to struggle day to day just to be seen by a doctor, if you get a chance to be seen by one, or to be catching on a bench or a chair to get some attention after a day or two of just languishing there along the corridors like slabs of meat or, just some what left. And they treat you like, And when I hear some of the civil society people, the nice, decent jacket and tie people, them, when I hear the nice pastor and preacher, we have a preacher who is also the custos, and him is a guardian of the people's spiritual and custodial well-being. Him not supposed to can talk to. All of the big neck people, them not here in front of me now. We're not hear nothing from none of them. Because in Montego Bay, there's a place called Hospital. And all of those people, if anything go wrong with them and them family, them is going to go to hospital. And hospital, we're glad to see them. And plus, apart from that, they're going to have the dollars to pay for it too. But me and you, Congo worm can't come near me right while we stand up then I wait for them. It don't matter to some of them. It don't matter to some of them. Nobody now do nothing about it. The people of Montego Bay just, well, Bob Marley did eventually get something. Them just a wait. Them just a wait. I guess all them can wait pan is them just a continue with the will that says wait, them a wait. No end in sight. No repair time schedule in sight. Here say, okay, the hospital will now be operational fully starting this day, and all of these things are in place, and we're going to open the place to the public so that you can come and examine. If you get called for a press conference down there, so them gather you up in one room and everybody talk, and the minister talk, and whoever else talk, And if them carry you in an apartheid, you get, your cursory visits to one part where them just organize and make it look like, say, well, but you see, we're working and these things happening. $22 billion. And now you can get something like a skirmish. And all of the rest of people that are responsible still I get them pay. The program is Tenny Miller Live. The next year, you're going to hear them call my name, say, me this and me that. But when you can fix up Cornwall Regional, you can come call my name. But Cornwall Regional right now is still a monumental disaster, embarrassment and a disgrace. And something needs to be done. Something needs to be done. The hospital needs to be opened and open now. The place needs to be finished fixing, and the compound needs to be cleaned up and organized and structured and fixed. The people them in CLM and Montego Bay feel like them are decent people. It sometimes over the look like a hog pen. They have no respect for the people. The people did vote for them, That's the sad part about it. Until I join you again. Roy Tenny Miller said, I just want to thank you for tuning in. I know you have a choice in viewership and listenership. I'm privileged when you choose to listen to me here at Flex FM. Until I join you again, you sleep the sleep of the just, free from all your cares and sorrows. And when your night turns to day, as it did it must, I hope you come out shouting and bawling out and saying that, listen, time for something to happen. No. Walk good.
Hi, I'm Dr. Marva Hewitt, Managing Director and CEO for the Food Hygiene Bureau Jamaica. The Food Hygiene Bureau will host our 10th International Food Security and Food Sovereignty Conference for Jamaica. This is a 2-day event, and over the 2 days we have over 20 food safety experts traveling from different countries such as the USA, Philippines, India, and Asia, and the Caribbean, and of course our Jamaicans. The theme of the conference is building resilience in food systems, enhancing food security and sovereignty. Venue is Sandoz Duns River at the conference center, and this is in Mami Bay, Ochirayas. We start at 8:30 until 4:30 both days. This is on the 9th and the 10th of September 2026. See you there.